Voice chat knows. What stock is that again? Welcome to Read the Room with Unc. What is up, everybody? This is Unc with Read the Room. Little new edition this week. I've been dropping my scans and screeners basically in the collabs for a while now. And Read the Room has basically been going over my plays, my notes. Gonna pivot both of those them and ever evolving, trying to get better. I'm gonna go over my scans and screens. It's just more information. Maybe let you guys see things a little better from the TA side, a little more clear instead of my final decisions. And then I'll still do my collab notes on the weekends. There just won't be a video of me walking through the plays. So you're gonna have to ask questions if you want some clarification on anything, since my notes never are really the greatest. But you should get a lot from here, and hopefully this will just help you nudge you out of the nest a little to play your own plays yourself. So with this, um, this and the of course the Sunday voice chat um, and the market cast. Those three things should give you ample stuff over the weekend to kind of listen to and get on, a good 4 or 5 plays for the week. So again, this is purely TA. I try to stay out of liking things because of the news on this. I just try to find straight levels, and you'll see that in these charts. So AMRS will be the first one. Let me get this switched around down here so it's a little easier for me. AMRS is the first one. I believe it says 230. Doesn't matter what it says because it's going to say it on here. AMRS. I just updated this list, dropped it in the RTL as well. It's a lot bigger right now, so I probably will cut some stuff out. With the professor giving me about 10 tickers a week, I got to constantly kind of flush this, once every couple months. This time of year is usually when I like the house clean anyways, because it's when I would start trading when I was working. Or at least pick up trading when I was working. So, weekly looks like crap, straight down, but we are on a level 1-2 dojis off the level, or excuse me, 2 wicks off the level, so that's why I'm liking it. I just like these baby bounces. We're getting 20-30 cents. Looking for it maybe to continue back above 3 if market change conditions work. It's previous winner for me and Professor. Yeah, we were playing this lower channel for a while, so that's back on this upper channel. I really do like. Sorry, you're gonna have to listen to me drink coffee. I'm gonna free ball this the whole way. No need to stop. I know what I'm talking about. AUY, because I live these charts. This one's a gold stock. Where's it at? AUI, bam. So 459 is the level from the note, I believe. Yeah, it's the bottom of this channel. Professor caught this original move on gold stocks, which just gave us this huge range. Kind of came back down to the level. This level hasn't really been anything but a pivot now. It's not really support. It just goes above it and below it. Hasn't really touched the upper 5, but we are pushing here on what would be considered a higher low. You can see it on the daily and the weekly. So I want to run the gold by Professor, especially with the way market conditions are. Gold's kind of cheap right now. If you look on FinViz, I believe it's like 1680 or something like that right now. So Bros, 32.59. Burrows. I like this new setup here because I can just go down this list here. So 32.59, we're a little above that level here. I like the coffee in general. Are coming into ER. Just looking for this channel to reclaim and strong market conditions. Not even touching this lower low down here, which was 20 bucks. We ain't even coming close to that again. So 32s, I think, are the level. Your 20-day volume profile is right about there as well. So yeah, like this on pullback. 33 is probably the best you're going to get, to be honest. If you're watching this, I'll tell you what I think. Can. This is a Chinese ADR Bitcoin. Don't type them in today. Thank you. Chinese ADR Bitcoin. Just reclaiming the channel. Really nice doji. Kind of an uptrend. Slow burner right here. To be honest with you, some of these charts are laydown charts when market conditions change, and I'm just looking for the professor to tell me the market conditions change, and we'll get on these guys and take them for, this is a 20%er just in the channel. previously 6, realistically 4.5. Really shitty stock. CCJ, ER. Didn't shout out many ERs. If you've seen POC here, POC just dropped that ER. There's so many charts. I don't do a lot of screens, so let's do some screens. Is it main chat? No, he's probably news and DD. Bam. So yeah, lots of ERs this week. I really didn't go through here. I'm going to let this play out mainly. I'm not trying to play anything but read the report. If they sell off or are real flat and the report is good and they give decent guidance, or the report is okay and they give decent guidance, or the report is good and they give no guidance, I'd rather play that side of it. This is a better setup for me currently. But this week we do have CCJ. I know the professor mentioned it. Let me zoom out. Give me a little more. Let me get a little more spice on the weekly here. Let me get it like from the beginning of the year. So we're great trend on the year. Big inside bar right here off this level here, 22.13. Range back to 27. Completed that a couple times this year. So it's more of the professor's play. Follow his lead on it, but TA does line up well with it. So I would like to, put my 2 cents in there. CCL, Jesus, what are we doing here? I think this was on last week. We did reclaim the channel, $8 to $9. Really flipping simple here. Yeah, this kind of started showing strength around the $7 level. That's kind of why you can be patient with some of these, especially if they have $3 or $4 range and they're under $10. That's 30 to 40% if my math isn't wrong. But everything looks good here. Reclaim the channel. I just want to see if the flow is still strong or are we going to get a rejection. I can play 8 to 9 for the breakout, or I can play this probably 650 to 8. Either way, let the flow dictate that. But we are on a key level that has been a pivot. I think this thing's probably going to personally go to like 850, 860. And then it'll make a decision what it's going to do. What that is just mid-candle right here. That's what I'm seeing. What do we got on volume profile? And your volume profiles are like 9.5. So really think we flirt in a little more into the 8s. But flow will usually dictate what's stronger direction in the market. So Cenex 675 bottom of channel. This aluminum play. Yeah, just reclaim this. Kind of bouncing on the bottom. It's acting more as resistance. You can see that your volume profiles are about 7, so it makes sense that this area is going to be a little thick. This just had really strong flow reads back to 11 and 12. This is when I basically want to start looking at it. Yeah, that's a real winner in the metal materials. You really can't go wrong there. Shout out to the winners. Hold on. So if you were here last week, you heard this. Klein, Clean Energy. CLNE. Like them off the $5 level. See the moves previously are scary good. That's a $3 move and a $5 stock. A lot going on here. You got your 200, your trend line, your bottom of your volume profile. Whole heap of stuff going on here. This is a strong flow read, or excuse me, TA read. Probably be in my notes. If it's not in here, we're gonna do that real quick because that's going in there. That's a no matter what one right there. We'll sneak peek or read the room. I already edited the list. Bam. So if you watched this video in EDU, you got that last week. Back on it again just for continuation. I want to see what the flow says. I can't predict the future, but I can try to tell you the ones that I think are going to play out a little better. Yeah, I think you heard that there. How many strongs do you need? So we completed the 5 to 624 channel. Big can. I mean, this is your weekly. We came off of that. When things just line up from the TA side, it makes sense. We're bouncing out 624 now. I just want to see if we continue. Next up, we have, I like the review. That was That was pretty good there. And you could have backed up and done that with CCL too. I just chose Klein because it was a little more meatier. Disney. Um, don't even need to read the note because I know this level by heart. So Professor had I think 94. I was like, we're not going to get to 92, probably 93. I lied. It lied. We definitely got down here to the 92, but we're back up here to the 103 again. This is the long-term ad channel for me. Even though the Star Wars thing is getting, excuse me, is getting bad reviews or whatever, not enough ratings. I don't know. I haven't watched it, so I think they're just saturating the market with their content. People don't like that, so um, yeah. Um, kind of mindful of that, but I really don't think it's Disney. I don't think you can do bad down here long term. I just want to see where the flow's headed on that. DNA. Um, oh, and full disclosure, I did not buy Disney this time around. I did last time off the 92 level. Got out at like 109, and I have not bought back in yet. I'm kind of being a little more patient this time. I don't like setting up long term and turning them into day trades. Don't like taking day trades and turning into long term trades, and I don't like taking long term trades and turning them into day trades. So, just full disclosure there on Disney. DNA, bottom. Oh, yeah, another one. Most of these, familiarity is really important to me, as you can tell. I like to play the same stuff over again. But we've been eating this channel alive. Um, this is probably a good EDU one. I'll show you. Yeah, I'm going to do it here because I'm going to do it in 2 charts as well. So, it's been eating this channel alive. It's 230 to 3. That's 70, 80, but 80, 90 cents basically on a $2 stock. That's really good range. It has a ton of support down here. I think $2 is like the line in the sand, maybe even 210, but $2 is like the line in the sand, pretty much on this guy. So I like it down here around that. I think we're gonna maybe get a little pullback. But what I want to show you guys, and I'm gonna do it. This one I'm gonna do a little different because I'm gonna do it preemptively so we can come back next week. But you basically take the candle here and you put it on top of the doji, whatever that is. What's it say? It's going to tell me right here. The low of this or excuse me, the high is 83. So we'll put it on 83. And the low is 234. So we're going to put it right there on 234. And that's just kind of our range we're looking for next week. We're looking to buy around that one there. Yeah, so DNA. I'm going to leave those here. I'll even color those a different color. Edit properties. We'll make these. There it is. Bam. We'll make these. Make these this pink color. Okay. And then this one too. Edit property. Okay. Bam. So yeah, we'll check on that next week and see how that works out. And I'm going to show you in 2 charts here why that works. And I actually messaged someone this week about it. It's just a good, not necessarily like a foolproof thing, but like a good guideline for you when the market is being sideways. So EXK silver. I like these silver plays. What we got? $3 like there. EXK. Yes, these. So all these charts I go through, and that's the next one that looked okay. So EXK. Let's zoom in a little on the daily. Zoom out a little bit on the weekly. You see this bottom pivot, we have gotten below it, but big bounce Friday off the level. Kind of just ate this line alive. So I'm mindful off the 319, especially if you look at the weekly. I think we'll get pulled back to here, but I want to play it off of this range, especially if we can get into the 50s and 60s. 319 to 350.60 is a pretty decent trade in my opinion. Silver in general is on my list, so I'm looking also if that sector is picking up. All right, and this next one I believe is the ED. Yeah, see, FTCH. So this is and it says right there, it's a little reminder myself, EDU. Means it's something I wanted to show you guys. So FTCH, bam. So FTCH is a good example last week of this kind of in these 4 candles sideways. So if last week you would have took that same thing I did this week and just put it on the top and the bottom. Sorry, I just dirty TA'd that. But you can come back and see that this week it would have gave you your levels. kind of stayed inside that range. And you get that with these sideways candles a lot. You can also go back and pick out, you know, if you want to go 3 or 4 candles back if they look consistent, and maybe find a little tighter range or a more consistent level. But the real quick, easy way is just to take the weekly from the previous week, and you'll respect one of the two ways really well, to be honest. Either it's going to bounce off this level into the range, or it's going to break through the level and come back and check to the range. So usually one of those two things happen when you start getting tight candles. And you can see it right here. It's definitely bouncing off of somewhere in this area, like this 730, with perfect entries being at $7. Move that drawing. So if you need a little guidance on where it might be going, especially in a sideways environment, where the best entry would be, obviously $7 on this thing over the last month would have been great. It's ran to 9 a couple times. Earlier you are, the better. Month before it was a little higher, but then obviously when you break the level, you can see supports turn to resistance. You can almost see it on this 2-month weekly chart. So all right, that's enough of that. Hive, trying to still keep these short for you guys so they're not hard to watch. Hive, Bitcoin play, $3. You can see it, just like this level. That's a 50% chunk. It has had moves way bigger, kind of dying like most of these Bitcoin stocks. They're slowly becoming more crappy in my opinion, but this one's on a good level. I don't know how Bitcoin's doing. I haven't looked today. Lemonade. See all them charts I just went through? They were all crap. So if there's something on that list that you were thinking about and I just scrolled by it, ask a question why I scrolled by it. Lemonade just on this 22, kind of confirming. It's had pops into the 30s before, 25s before from here. Like this one in general. Do have ER coming up beginning of next month. So a couple weeks. Just one of our regular ones. I like to say, hey, we're on support. MQ, cheating here. Kind of came up in collabs. Running back to this 775, 10, 11 bucks, kind of the top of the channel. Real thick down in here, but 950, 10 bucks should totally be it. 775 has been the struggle area. You can see it's kind of a slow mover, but one, doop, you can kind of see that double boop boop right there. Definitely probably see it on this chart real well. Well, you can see one of them. But we do skip below and up to it, so that is resistance. We need that to turn to support. Flow usually will lead the way on some of those, especially tech ones. I don't know why techs trade with so much insider movement, but they really do. Those guys like to share information. I think this is more of a short play, be 100% honest with you. But I want to see what the flow says, because the last time we called it basically in this spot, it took off. So I'm good with that 55 level. Want to see if the flow has 60s or more of the 50s and down. If it does, it's great down to the 42 level if you are more of a downside player, you're more comfortable with that. Pen, we hit the bottom of pen. See all these stocks? I'm scrolling by it. There's a reason for it. Pen 28. 85 is the line there. 37, 26 is the top. I've been in this channel for a while. Kind of got a lower low here. So I do want to know what it does in here above 30. Like if 30 rejects, that's definitely a problem. But if not, we should get back into the mid 30s. I like the company, kind of coupled with old DraftKings down here. Rig. All right, Rick, 350, just confirming. Kind of two big U's under 350. Would love to see that support turn to resistance, especially with the runs back to the $5 level. Pretty sure there'll be a solid flow opinion on that this week. Starbucks. This one's a little different read. So it's off my level down here that we had as 78 as the pivot, because we broke through that. A lot of these resistance that you're seeing, these two U's, that's why I like them, because once they break through, you get into a new range. Starbucks looks like it's trying to do that again off 86. I have volume profiles on both time frames. I had the EMAs crossing right here, so I'm very interested in that on the weekly. Just a lot going on here. This kind of came back to the right side on the daily, so I think we're kind of early, kind of sideways in an area where if maybe you can get the, let's say the 87s. Oh, sorry, 83s, 85s. You're going to be good off if this does break up to the into the 90s. So I want to see what the flow suggests on that. Lines are still long at the ones down the street. Since crappy stock, I forget what these guys do. I always get these mixed up with no, this is Sugar Beet. This is Sugar Beet. They got the glucose monitor. Yeah, these guys aren't horrible. They sold off the news. Yeah, they sold off the news after they got FDA approval. But 118 is kind of my area that needs to hold back to 165. Man, not too much on it. Just kind of throwing the jab there. Sun W. Healthcare just ain't it either right now. SU. Where's the U's at? There we go. That's the one right below it too. 199.2. You can see it right there. Let's scan over this week. Yeah, it's just made pretty good range there. This technically would be a higher low. It's a crappy solar play. Runs to 5, especially on news. This was those political mumbo jumbos though that were energizing the world. So SVM, I know this is on the list because it just is. Trust me. 234 to 277. I like this channel. We're in kind of trend sideways. This is another one you can probably do that weekly candle trick I showed you. But the way it's kind of grinded on this level and a Friday pop, I like this. Especially if it pulls back to a higher low here on Monday. That would be perfect for me because that would just be another confirmation. Tough when it's tough. Kind of rolling with the TAs here on this one. I asked last week, and I'm just not gonna not mention it again. We're again. It looks like we're flipping 7 here. This thing went to 12 last time. I'm not gonna mention that number, but I always thought it would get to that number mid candle. So definitely needs to break 10 here. But 7 to 9, 8, 9, 10 is pretty dang good trade. So I'm very interested in the flow and watching this grind up, kind of like Weber did, to be honest with you. Not a lot of volume recently, but kind of want to be before volume, in my opinion, on some of these. Sorry, I'm reading off my regular notes instead of going here. But yeah, I'm going in order, I promise. Bam. The trend 650, kind of the top of the channel, but it's a nice trend. It's a trend stock. I just like this setup. I kind of like the metals materials sector to make around 2 currently. Just coming out of ER. Some of them are going to do good, some are going to do bad. And by bad, I mean just not meet expectations. But some of these guys are going to, I think, beat expectations pretty good. So UEC, all those guys, AA, yada, yada, yada. The AA, you just kind of seen it happen with bad ER. So I'm watching these guys, especially since we have a date coming up here on the 1st. Love it. All right, so I also have, let's go back here. On this guy, you can see I just put trends and a list of stocks. I don't really do much. I'm just going to go over how I do that. If you could see, that same list is right here. That's that list. It's just all those. So what this is just a scan that basically does 3 bars in a row, and you can filter it by anything you want. So I did it by day, and I also did it off my main list. But you can also do it by month. What stocks have had 3 months of uptrends? Bam, and you can get that. That's in my chart notes, to be honest with you. But Nat and Hood, you can go like that. You can do it on the daily. You can do it weekly. In the market hours, I do it by 10 minutes. But on the weekend, this is just a great way to search for stocks. Bam, bam. You see these? So there's a lot on the weekly, but I went a little shorter time frame for stuff this week. I went on the ones that have been up over the last 3 days, just because I wanted to see if trends are going to continue. So I dropped those charts. Those are all in there. A bunch of familiar names. Some surprising. A lot of tech on there. But yeah, so I did that. And then lastly on here are my charts. These are the ones that are more susceptible to being on the in my notes. So I drop them on here, let the professor run through them real quick. I'm not going to run through those today. But if any of those have good flow reads, I'll run with them. Or if the TA looks too good to me and I need a spot, this is where I usually pull from. So, all right. Well, that is the new Read the Room. A little more information, a lot more charts, but let you guys see the levels I have. Feel free to steal the levels. I would, or chart your own and then check to see what I got. So, everyone have a good weekend. Make sure you do a little homework. See you tomorrow for voice chat. And yeah, let's have a good week out there. No bias.